Hi, I'm Jimmy Buff from Radio Kingston here in Kingston at the home port for the mighty Hudson River sloop Clearwater. A couple years before Pete Seeger passed, he was here with a great group of volunteers and Clearwater crew to build the home port. It was a barn raising, and I was here for that inaugural event. In fact, I have myself the t-shirt on today. And now the sloop calls Kingston home. Normally for the revival, the Clearwater would be 60 miles downriver off the eastern shore, keeping pace with everything happening at Croton Point Park, music, activities, awareness, food, and fun, all happening on land. They'd be doing public sales too, but these are different times, and so here we are. Truth is, before the pandemic hit and the sailing season was canceled, Clearwater was in need of our support, and that hasn't changed. The mission of the organization, as exemplified by the literal flagship that is usually at the dock here in Kingston, is essential for the continued health of this mighty river, and folks are, as Pete sang, counting on you. Go to clearwaterfestival.org and make a donation now, please. And be sure, too, to order up a special edition virtual revival t-shirt. I'm going to add it to my collection. We've got a great message on the front. It says, "Save the sloop that saved the river." In the meantime, it's more performances now, beginning with the Walkabout Clearwater Chorus, who aren't just a chorus, but a group that's first and foremost activists in the tradition of their founder, Pete Seeger, who stipulated that their mission was one of social and political activism, to carry the message of environmental justice, peace, and equality through their music. The Walkabout Clearwater Chorus has participated in marches and rallies and events protesting nuclear arms and power. They've protested the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan and elsewhere. They're in support of women's rights and immigrant rights and the People's Climate March and the Black Lives Matter movement. They perform regularly in schools throughout the New York City metropolitan area too. And they're going to be followed by Canadian singer-songwriter David Celia, who's sometimes described as a musician's musician or as a musical renegade, a troubadour, and who's going to astound folks with his guitar playing too. And there's going to be Roland Moussa, who's going to offer his Hudson River blessing, and Tina Seeger is going to read a statement from the still wrongly incarcerated Native American activist Leonard Peltier, who has spent over 40 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit. Because he's imprisoned and with limited access to the outside world, Leonard Peltier couldn't read the statement himself. That's coming up in just a couple of moments. Right now, it's the Clearwater Walkabout Chorus.
We're gonna sing a little song about a sailboat.
Run, come see, run, come see. Sing a little song about a sailboat. Run, come see, Jerusalem.
Help to harmonize on every verse now.
Run, come see, run, come see. Harmonize on every verse now. Run, come see, Jerusalem.
You can sing it high or sing it low now.
Run, come see, run, come see. Sing it high or sing it low now. Run, come see, Jerusalem.
It was 1900.
We come from the mountain, we come from the mountain. Go back to the mountain, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, go back to the mountain, turn the world around.
We come from the fire, we come from the fire. Go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come for the singing of the world, that we may sing as one, with every voice, with every
was way back in 1984. The Clearwater organization had an annual meeting, a get-together. I think it was a 2-day meeting, and I remember taking a big 4x8 piece of plywood and drawing the silhouette of the Clearwater on it and suggesting that we should have a huge model of the Clearwater which could go places that the big boat could not go. Andy Goldhammer said, "Call it the Walkabout Clearwater." Well, pretty soon a gang of people helped get it built, and the group of people that took care of it started an organization a little bit unlike any other organization. They not only sing songs, but host a monthly coffee house. And at their monthly get-togethers, all sorts of people come because they love to sing, and even if for only one evening a month, they join in with the Walkabout Chorus, with that beautiful model on the stage. And so now when the chorus sings somewhere, they take the model with them. Wish there were many other Walkabout choruses or choruses like it around the world.
Many struggles there will be. We'll be needing harmony. Stand up one and all and raise your voices to the stars.
We have a song to make our spirits rise. We have a song to help us organize. We have a song to keep our eyes upon the prize. It makes us strong. We have a song. We have a song to make our spirits rise. We have a song to help us organize. We have a song to keep our eyes upon the prize. It makes us strong. We have a song. It makes us strong. We have a song.
There is a song, and I can hear it ring. Just one of the many that Pete taught us to sing. And there is power in a song, like a sturdy old oak tree. It stands tall, and that song belongs to you and me. Kumbaya, Lord, Kumbaya, Kumbaya, Lord, Kumbaya, Kumbaya, Lord, Kumbaya, oh Lord, Kumbaya.
Well, this song has been around for a long time. It came here with slaves from Africa, and it was known as Kumbaya. It was picked up by the black church, particularly in the South, and it became Come By Here. This song gets a bad rap from time to time, but sometimes, like maybe this last week, it's just the perfect song. There's a story told that many of the Mississippi Freedom Summer volunteers turned to this song as they pondered what to do after the murder of Schwerner, Cheney, and Goodman. It gave them the comfort and the courage that they needed to continue their work. Someone's crying, Lord, come by here.
Someone's crying, Lord, come by here. Someone's crying, Lord, come by here. Someone's crying, Lord, come by here. Oh Lord, come by here.
Well, I imagine this song was sung long before the president broke into Amazing Grace, probably more than once this past week in Charleston, South Carolina, as the people there struggled to deal with the murder of those 9 folks in the African and Methodist Episcopal Church as those people met for Bible study and prayer. Reverend Clementa Pinckney, a distinguished state senator as well as the church's pastor, led that prayer and Bible study until those bullets found him. Cynthia Hurd, the regional manager of the county library, fell victim to that hatred. It said that she loved her job because it brought her close to people. DePayne Middleton Doctor was 49 and the mother of 4 daughters, the oldest in college and the youngest in junior high. Someone's dying, Lord.
Someone's dying, Lord.
Come by here. Sharonda Coleman Singleton was a girls' track coach and a speech therapist. She was also on the church staff. Tywanza Saunders was only 26 and a recent graduate of Allen University, a historically black college, and was looking for his first job in business administration. The Reverend Daniel Simmons Sr. was a retired pastor from another church in Charleston. He was at that Bible study every Wednesday night. Someone's dying, Lord.
Someone's dying, Lord. Come by here.
Ethel Lee Lance, 70 years old, was a sexton at the church who had worked there for more than 30 years. Susie Jackson was Ethel's cousin and a longtime church member, and Myra Thompson was the wife of the vicar of another Charleston church. Someone's dying, Lord.
Someone's dying, Lord. Come by here. Oh, Lord, come by here.
We are singing, Lord.
We are singing, Lord. Come by here. We are singing, Lord. Come by here. We are singing, Lord. Come by here. Oh, Lord, come by here.
We are marching, Lord.
We are marching, Lord. Come by here. We are marching, Lord. Come by here. We are marching, Lord. Come by here. Oh, Lord, come by here.
Kumbaya. Thank you, everyone.
Hi, this is the part of the evening we call the Teach About, where we get our audience to sing along with us. And even though you're sitting in your living room, you can join in. The song we're going to do is called We Come From the Mountain, and it has hand motions. So I'll teach those to you, and you'll be able to sing along. We start with We Come From the Mountain. You make a mountain with your hands. Go back to the mountain. You make a kind of a hitchhiking motion. Go back to the mountain. Turn the world around. You make a W with your fingers and turn the world around. The second verse says we come from the fire. The next verse says we come from the water. The next one says we come from the sky. My hands have probably disappeared. We come from the sky. And the last one, just to see if you're still awake, has one of each one of those in there. Okay, so whenever we're ready, we'll start and you can join in.
We come from the mountain, we come from the mountain. Go back to the mountain, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, go back to the mountain, turn the world around.
We come from the fire, we come from the fire. Go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come from the fire, go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come from the water, we come from the water. Go back to the water, turn the world around.
We come from the water, go back to the water, turn the world around. come from the sky, we come from the sky. Go back to the sky, turn the world around. We come from the sky, go back to the sky, turn the world around. We come from the mountains,
We come from the fire. We come from the water.
turn the world around. We come from the sky, go back to the sky, turn the world around.
I couldn't see you, but I'm sure you all did a great job. That song was actually by Harry Belafonte, and we modified it so more people could sing along. And it was one of Pete Seeger really liked it when we sang that song. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoy singing it.
Hello, my name is David Celia. I'm up here in Canada on a wonderful lake. It's called Smoke Lake. It's in Algonquin Park, just a few hours away from Toronto, where I usually live. And I'm going to talk a bit about Pete Seeger's time in Canada. I'm going to play you a couple of songs. I guess I'll start off with a story about Pete playing at Massey Hall in Toronto, which is the equivalent of Carnegie Hall, maybe. I don't know about the exact capacity, but it's a beautiful venue in Toronto. And the Weavers management contacted Vivian Stenson, who was wonderful. She got him in and booked him, and we got to, us Canadians got to hear his stories, and that's just one beautiful example of his time here. There's more, but before I get into them, I want to play you a couple of songs. So we'll start with one. It's called Brave New Land. And it's about civilization in our history. Let's say the way a particular nation was formed. I don't know. My imagination is just fascinated at how nations are formed throughout history, and we go way back to. You can only guess and use our historians to understand, or you can just get a feeling. And so in this song, I had the freedom to explore that feeling, and it's about a civilization from our past. But the funny thing is, I notice it also could be about a civilization to come. It could be where we're heading. So I hope you enjoy it. It's called Brave New Land.
The people traveled in droves to the sea, leaving their possessions behind. With hope and bravery found a new land where people lived in peace once again. They didn't have a clue what to do when they'd arrived, so they carried their children to the shore, and time would go on until they realized the children in their hearts would live on.
All right. Back to the cabin. The cabin. This is actually a beautiful place. My friend has invited me here. So his name is Bob Henderson. He's actually he goes out on major expeditions, and he wrote this book. It's beautiful. More Trails, More Tales. Exploring Canada's Travel Heritage. Bob Henderson. And thank you, Bob, for having me here. What a treat. Maybe if you ever come, traveling through Canada, you might see him on his canoe. That's all I'm going to say. And Margot Peck, his wife, thank you for helping me put this video together. So the next thing I wanted to say is when Pete was here, he spent some time performing at these camps. A lot of these Jewish children were in these camps, and Pete came and played for them and inspired them and changed their lives forever in such a beautiful way. Eddie Schwartz is a singer. One of them, he went on to become a great songwriter, and he wrote "Hit Me With Your Best Shot." Sharon Hampson from Sharon, Lois, and Bram. And anyways, so many people. Jerry Gray from a band called The Travelers, a group. He was there too, and they were originally called the Beavers, and he plays this long neck banjo. And they were asked by Pete to do a Canadian version of This Land, and he requested that they send the proceeds to Woody Guthrie's family, who was in the hospital at the time. So, and I'll just finish up with one more story. So he was holding an axe on one of his performances, Pete was, at this Camp Nivelt, and he was slugging away at a log on beat to the song that he was doing, and it was very effective and powerful, and the kids were blown away. They were moved. There's so many stories I could tell you, but basically the kids gathered around, collected chips of that wood, and got Pete to sign it, and I'm sure they still have it today. So anyways, thank you so much, Clearwater, for having me. Once again, I hope to see you next year, and thanks for this great idea. Thanks to Roy again. I was at Clearwater. I got to see Pete sing one of my favorite songs, Turn, Turn, Turn. And I also got to meet and play with Pete one time, and he showed me and my friends Take It From Dr. King. Wow. A month later, he was on David Letterman performing it live. And anyways, when he left us, I really felt like a powerful source had just left the planet, but he's still here. So anyway, enjoy. This next song is called Life is a Dream. I hope you enjoy it. Life is a Dream, dedicated to moms and dads everywhere, and I also dedicate it to the Creator. Ta-da! Life is a dream. All right. Thanks for having me. It's the end of my program. Thanks, Pete, for coming to Toronto in 1956, and Vivian Stenson and all the others at the camp for carrying his message, and I hope you carry it too, like I will. I'm going to end off with a sing-along that Pete taught me in person. Changed my life too. And it's about singing. That was his message. Most of you know that now. His message is to sing. It goes like this. Don't say it can't be done. The battle's just begun. Take it from Dr. King. You too can learn to sing. So drop the gun. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Don't say it can't be done. The battle's just begun. Take it from Dr. King. You too can learn to sing. So drop the gun.
You know, George Washington wrote a treaty to Chief Cornplant. And he actually wrote this. From the Seneca Nation, he had written that you can have this land as long as the grass shall grow. And in 1966, they flooded it. Drew them up to the Rochester and Syracuse area. Disregarded the treaty. You know, America will never be happy until our people are happy. You have to realize this. As long as the sun shall glow, as long as the wind shall blow, as long as the stream shall flow, as long as the grass shall grow, this land, this land shall be in thy name. In thy name. Way, hey, ho. Way, ho. Sing along with me, please, on this one. Way, hey, ho. It's very simple, same thing. Way, hey, ho. Long as the deer shall spring, as long as the bird shall sing, as long as the whale is king, as long as the life shall bring this land. this land shall be. Baby's small, as long as the boy grows tall, as long as we all shall crawl, as long as this earth's above, this land shall be in our
I am Tatewakwa, wind that chases the sun, proud of the Minakonju Lakota Ojibwe blood that runs through my veins, also known as Leonard Peltier. I remain an activist out of necessity. People of color throughout the world suffer from lack of equality and justice and we need to stand in support of each other. Our way of life is forever a threat to those who don't understand. I stand with those who are willing to give their lives to protect the environment of which we are all a part. Without clean water, we cannot live. Without clean air, we cannot live. And without our way of life, we will cease to exist. Let us look beyond the color of our skin, the way we choose to worship, and the idea that some of us have more worth than others. We are all related, the two-legged, the four-legged, those that fly and swim, our life-giving plants and animals and all living things. Let us strive for tolerance and respect. Let us move forward with a positive mind while bringing our history with us. Our promise to our ancestors is that we will never forget. And on a very personal note, I want to say how honored and grateful I was to have the love and support of the great Pete Seeger. Pete's life was a beacon of hope for all who have been denied the best of human rights, and I was lifted and heartened each time I became aware that he had spoken out for me. His words and the knowledge that he had used his powerful voice to help me has helped to sustain me through many tough years. Thank you, Brother Pete. And I pray that you will take care of each other and our elders of every race as we work to survive this virus. I am no stranger to solitary confinement and isolation. I am under lockdown now because of the virus. I'm in my cell for 3 straight days and then allowed out for 2 hours to shower and make a phone call, if the phone lines are not too long. And back in my cell for another 3 days. We can all isolate to protect our elders, our families, and our future. Stay safe, and I send you my love and gratitude for not forgetting about me. Dokusha, till I see you again. Leonard.
Hello again, I'm Jimmy Buff from Radio Kingston here at the home port for the mighty Hudson River sloop Clearwater in Kingston, and we hope you're enjoying the virtual Great Hudson River Revival in Sport of the Clearwater organization. So much education happens on the boat and on land as well with Clearwater. The programs work to inspire a personal connection to the river, and from that inspiration comes personal responsibility, and from that comes the understanding of the need for community action. Climate change is now, and as a result, the Hudson River will be higher, hotter, and saltier. The watchwords are adaptation, mitigation, and resiliency. The town of Piermont has developed a plan. Singers around the globe. He's got 30 recordings. He's produced 20 other records. He's written books. But he says it's in live performance that he feels most at home, and you're going to experience that in just a few moments. Again, I'm Jimmy Buff from Radio Kingston, and so honored to have been invited to participate in this virtual revival here in 2020.
Hi, I'm George Klein, and I'm here to tell you about Sierra Club's Lower Hudson group. We cover environmental issues in Westchester, Rockland, and Putnam counties in the Hudson Valley, just north of New York City. The Sierra Club is America's earliest grassroots environmental and outdoors organization, run entirely by volunteers. A lot of the work we do is in alliance with other groups, such as Clearwater. Here are some of the things we work on. We work on the climate emergency. We recently ran a virtual event that showed the surprising connections between climate change and the spread of diseases like COVID from animals to humans as a result of habitat destruction. We work for renewable energy initiatives such as community solar. Here's a picture of a community solar installation that was built in 2018 by a member of our group. It supplies the electricity energy needs for about 20 homes. We also support community choice aggregation, by which whole communities move to renewable sources like wind for their electricity. We work for the responsible closing of Indian Point, the nuclear installation in Buchanan. There are tons of spent fuel rods there, which will be a danger to the surrounding community and the whole New York metropolitan area for thousands of years. We fight the expansion of Westchester County Airport. We don't want another LaGuardia Airport in Westchester. Our airport lies adjacent to the Kensico Reservoir, the source of drinking water for 9 million people in Westchester and New York City. And airports are major emitters of a variety of hazardous air pollutants. We oppose gas pipeline expansion, which just perpetuates and entrenches fossil fuels. Also, we hold hikes and other outings to encourage people to go outside and learn more about the wild spaces around us in all weather and all seasons. And we perform maintenance on local hiking trails. Additionally, we work on reforming and improving public elections because we believe that free and fair elections in which the public has confidence are vital to democracy, and democracy will help us save the environment. And we examine and endorse candidates for public office who prioritize environmental issues, and we work for the election of those candidates. Please visit us on the web at sierralowerhudson.org or on Facebook.
complicated. I don't know how it got so complicated. It's not that complicated. You just walk out the door. You just throw a wrench into the gears. You just don't show up. Yeah, you just don't show up. Yeah, you're going to be called the traitor. You're going to be called the enemy of the state. Everybody's going to try to convince everybody. They're going to try to convince everyone that you're the problem. That you're the problem because you won't cooperate. It's not that complicated. Don't cooperate. It's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. Just walk out the door. Just put down their tools. Just refuse to kill. And what happened to the freedom of speech? Oh, it's over there in that freedom zone where you have to get a permit. Otherwise, you're breaking the law. Yeah, over there where no one can hear you. Yeah, that's right. That's where you can have your freedom. In the freedom zone. Yeah, it's not that complicated. It's all pretty obvious. It's not that complicated. And then suddenly all of us are illegal. What's so complicated? Some of you may ask, I mean, where do you get your inspiration from? Personally, I go to the Weather Channel. the Weather Channel, and it tells me it's going to be a devastating storm. Unregulated capitalism is destroying everything. Devastating. We're told we should evacuate. And everybody says, I don't know what to do. It's not that complicated. Just walk out the door. Just put down their tools. Just refuse to kill. Plant a tree. Feed a child. Hug someone who's crying. How did it become so complicated? Thank you very much. Thanks for coming out. Hope you come out to the rest of the festival. And hope. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Hi, this is John McCutcheon, and I'm going to start off with a song of Pete's. Together, the whole wide world around. I may not know your lingo, but I can say by jingo, no matter where you live, we can shake hands. Welcome to this virtual Clearwater Festival. I, like you, am here to support the work of Clearwater, that for 50 years has plied the waters of the Hudson and in the process changed minds and hearts and lives. These next 50 years is going to depend upon what the last 50 have depended upon, the support of the community, people like you and me. So I would encourage you to continue your support of the Clearwater. When all of this is over, when we're given the all clear and we venture back in public, no longer have to fear. As we think back on these past months, how things used to be, I wonder if we'll jump back in quite so eagerly. 'Cause we had time for reading, for board games and for cards, for getting in our gardens, for cleaning up our yards. We tried outrageous recipes, even learned how to bake bread, called our loved ones on the phone, spent lots more time in bed. Oh sure, we binge watched too much Netflix, blew entire days, and we drove each other crazy in 100 different ways. And for supper we had breakfast, for breakfast ate ice cream. We learned how to be bored again, found the time to dream. So when all of this is over, and from quarantine we're free, I suspect there'll be some changes in how things used to be. 'Cause we can each get by with less, and we can each want so much more. 'Cause what matters truly matters when all of this is o'er. What matters